So here's some good news. I've run out of outline. There's a few days left of NaNoWriMo, and I've run out of outline. I evidently have no idea what I'm doing. I just sat down yesterday to start my writing session. I took out my outline, I scrolled down all the way to the bottom, and lo and behold, right after chapter 15, where I thought chapter 16 was going to start, there was no chapter 16. Instead, there was a whole bunch of crap, like just scene dumping and stuff, and no more chapters. This is what happens when you change your mind at the very last minute before NaNoWriMo as to which story you're going to write. And you don't prepare. So I still have a few days of NaNoWriMo left and I have no outline off of which to write. So that's fun.
Oh my god, why do these things happen to me?
Also, why do I look like death? It's because I don't have an outline, probably. Death doesn't have an outline. Death does not have an outline. See, that's why. That's why death is so pale and ghoulish, because it doesn't have an outline. Oh god. Yeah, so I'm going to have to resort to some tricks. After finding out that I don't have an outline, I did what every self-respecting professional writer does in such a situation. I panicked. Substantially. And after I finished panicking, I still didn't know what to do, so I ate some chocolate, and then I thought about it some more, panicked about it some more, and then thought, well, the only thing you really can do in a situation where you need to write is to write yourself out of it, right? So I think that's what I'm gonna have to do, so we'll see how that goes. We still got a couple more days left, about 5,000 more words, so that's not really a terrible place to be. This would be much more horrible if I was left without an outline somewhere in the middle, but I'm still not too happy about this. I wasn't expecting it, and it's really jarring and just totally, it just messed with my head, so oh well. Keep cracking, as they say. Okay. Entering in the amount of words. Update. Yay! Congratulations. Why, thank you. Yeah, look at me. This is the face of a winner. Okay, so NaNoWriMo is over. Lesson learned that maybe I shouldn't be so confident when I'm talking about reaching my writing goals and winning NaNoWriMo in general before checking whether my outline is fully written. So yeah, after panicking for a while, I just sat down and began to write. I mean, there was no other way out of that situation. So what I did was, instead of sitting down and writing full out chapters and trying to think about it and wasting time on that, because that was the worst thing, was the stress of the looming deadline hanging over my head. So to take that out of the equation, make it a lot more achievable and just less stressful, I decided to basically do a scene dump. And so I opened up a new Google Doc and I literally called it scene dump. And I just wrote out random scenes that came to my head and just wrote them out. Most of them were basically dialogue. So just interactions between characters, mostly between my two main characters. I think it was quite an interesting exercise because what happened is, putting the whole word count thing aside, that I discovered new ideas that I hadn't thought of before. So basically what it is it's kind of like a thought dump, right? So I would just sit there and think, and write out whatever popped into my head. And if it was enough of a good idea to flesh it out and it just kind of wrote itself, then I would continue with it until the idea kind of wrote itself out, and that was the end of it, and then I just moved on to the next one. And what happened with that is that I came out with some really interesting scenes, and those scenes gave birth to really interesting ideas and character development that I hadn't thought of before, that led to new events and plot points that I hadn't thought of before that could happen in the future chapters of the book. And I thought that's pretty cool. That of course means I have to expand the outline, obviously, and also think about some differences at the beginning of the book in order to make the character development sequential and have it make sense. But I think it's worth it. Those changes that need to be made are worth the effort to have these new things added in. And yeah, and I thought that was really cool. I was really happy with that. So in the end, an experience that really was something short of a train wreck. It turned out to be quite, well, maybe I wouldn't say nice, but it turned out to be quite positive. So that's great. That's really great. Another thing that really saved my ass is music. I don't know about you guys, but I love writing to music. Of course, instrumentals, because if it has lyrics in it, then obviously I can't write. The lyrics get in my way, and I end up writing lyrics instead of prose, and then I end up with an album instead of a book, and that's just not ideal. And so I put on music like I always do. I have certain playlists for certain moods and so on and so forth. And yeah, and I just turned on, this time I just turned on like this random playlist that I found. YouTube suggested it, so I just turned it on, and I just had this one song that came on, and it was perfect, just perfect, you know what I mean? And this scene popped into my head, the music was playing, and that just wrote itself. It was just the best experience ever, you know? So that was actually great. It was on the last day. I had 2 songs that I had that kind of experience with, and I just wrote the whole day that way. I'll link those 2 songs in the description if you're interested. And yeah, it was magical, to be honest. It really was magical. And it was really fun to write that way, because you can feel the inspiration kind of flow through you, and it just feels so creative, and it's a really great way to write. So that was really, really fun. So even though NaNoWriMo is over, my book is nowhere near done, like I told you guys. So now the problem is how to keep up a schedule to keep writing the book. That's going to be a bit of an issue, because the issue with NaNoWriMo was that it forced me to write even when I didn't feel like it or didn't really have the time, because you had to get, your word goals in and everything, because it's really hard to fall behind, and when you do, it's super hard to catch up. But that is sometimes a bit of a chore, and I didn't really like that. The problem here now is that I don't have that deadline hanging over my head like an axe, and I'm afraid that without it, I'll just keep pushing it off to the side, because there's always going to be something, because, this, that, and the other thing. And I have a super busy life. I have a lot going on right now. I have a really big project I'm working on right now, so I just, it's just so simple to push writing off to the side. You guys know what I mean. And I really don't want to, but, life is what it is. And so that's what I'm afraid might happen. I'm thinking of coming up with some kind of schedule, maybe putting it into my calendar and trying to do that. If I have some writing time scheduled, maybe that will help. But I'm also afraid that I will just take that scheduled writing time and just kind of use it for something else that is going to be more important. There will always be that danger. I don't know what to do with that, honestly. If you guys have any ideas, I would love to hear them, because I've struggled with that for a while. So that's one thing. Anyway, that's pretty much a wrap up of my NaNoWriMo. Got it done, got it smashed, hit out of the park. I wrote more than was required, which is nice. Got my little certificate, and yeah, it was a fun experience. Learned some stuff. Always great to learn something new. And yeah, I might get more involved in the community next year. That's what I'm thinking, because I felt solitary this year, you know? Like, I feel I'd like to get involved in the community more next time, you know, have more like, I don't know, do it like with more people, you know, have somebody to talk to about it, you know, like, and share stuff with, and just do it with more friends, you know? That's what I'm thinking. That's what I want to do next year. Definitely. So not just sign up for the site and everything like that, because that's what I did this year and that was fun, but kind of get into the community more. Maybe by next year I can, you know, collab with some authors off YouTube or something. I don't know. I don't know yet. A year is a crap ton of time. We'll see. But that's what I'm thinking, is that get more friends, you know, involved, get more community involved, do it more like as a group, like a social thing. I think that's a good idea. It'll be it'll be more fun. That's one thing, but it's just, I think it would be really interesting to have more of a setting where there could be, you know, like just sharing of ideas and experiences and things like that. I think that's what's kind of missing when you're just doing it all by yourself. Really, you don't have anybody to bounce ideas off of or anything like that. Because I mean, you know, when you have your family, okay, yeah, but that's more of a passive kind of support, you know. Those that they'll be like, yeah, you know, you got your word count in, great, how you doing, you know, that's it. But other than that, you know, that's when you do it with writers or people who really know what NaNoWriMo is, it's a different level of involvement. So it'll just be a different experience and a different level of interaction. So I think that might be kind of cool. Might try that.
I'll probably completely forget I said this by next year. But,
Let me know how your NaNoWriMo went. I hope you won. I hope you're proud. I hope you got yourself some goodies. And print that certificate, stick that thing on your wall, be proud, get ready for editing. That's gonna be fun. It always is. Oh, and by the way, don't think that I didn't notice that little piece of dialogue you wrote. Immaculate is what I'm saying, okay? Art. Yeah, so thanks for joining me on my little NaNoWriMo journey. I hope to see you here next year for another one. But first, Dash, we have to finish this book.
Let's hope to God that goes well.
Enjoy your NaNoWriMo victories. Bye-bye.